There's a type of jiu-jitsu that never depends on strength, and it doesn't require athleticism. The only problem is, for most people, it takes about 10 years to find, or even start to believe it's possible. Until now. All right, clap for your training partners. In case you don't know, I just like starting off every single episode like that because it's just good energy, and you got to appreciate the people that you work with. So, okay, so today's episode, or this month's episode, is going to be a little bit different than normal. Normally, we go over a guard game because jiu-jitsu, long story short, jiu-jitsu is about having a good guard. If you're a jiu-jitsu player, you need to know what it's like to be able to play underneath people and do well. But this time we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do the other important thing. You got to know how to finish a fight. You got to know how to make someone tap. You got to know how to control them and make sure that if you ever have to defend yourself, you know how to. So we're going to be focusing on that today and our philosophy. So as far as submissions and ending a fight, there's different philosophies on how to end a fight. Some people like to attack limbs. They like to attack feet, legs, arms. But in our case with Trujitsu, what we try to do is we don't focus on limbs, because someone could be strong, and if you're tired, they could power out of a submission. That happens. And then there's other cases where someone who actually gets caught in a move, they'll let their arm pop or their leg pop, and they'll still fight. So that's the reason why we don't necessarily want to attack limbs. Our philosophy is to go for something that it works the same for everybody. So whether someone's 150 pounds or 250 pounds, their neck works the same. So we go after the neck. Our goal is to knock someone over, take their back and choke them, and that's what we're going to do today. Okay? So if you've ever been frustrated trying to get a submission on someone, that's all going to change. We're going to show you how to do it. Okay? All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is there's several ways to take your opponent's back. And that's fine, but the real answer isn't to have 40 ways to take someone's back, which, you know, those of you that remember our second DVD, Jiu-Jitsu Lab Series 2, we went over 40 ways to take the back. But realistically, your best success is going to happen whenever you don't have 40, but you have a few that are connected together. So if someone survives one position, they're walking into another one, and then another one. And what should happen is you eventually catch them. So they just run out of ideas on how to get out of things. So we're going to go over what we did last episode. So instead of starting from a position that's totally foreign, we're just going to build off the one that we had, because that's how we connect the dots. So who remembers what we did last episode? Where were we at? I'm already giving you a hint. We were in sitting guard. Once a sitting guard sweep didn't work, then we went to X guard. And once we went to X guard, that's where everything, changed, and we went over the difference between X guard and deep half. Well, there's one problem that happens when you're here. Okay, so I'm trying to do a sitting guard first, then I'm trying to do an X guard, but my opponent's putting pressure with their hips and with their chest. And then what ends up happening is, go ahead and lean back a little bit, if you can watch, they move their head to the side here. Then they parry their arm in, and then now you have this problem here. They have the underhook, not you. Now, there's options that people will do, and there's even one up on the wall that you will dismiss. But there's options where you attack with the overhook. You just get the overhook and you do this and you push away. But one of the things that we want to keep in mind is that whenever you're attacking someone, you want to do things that don't give them a window. So I know this seems like a good opportunity to throw the leg over or even go for the omoplata, but the bottom line is I'm already going on my back, and one of the things that goes wrong, let's say my opponent is real explosive. So let's go back to the situation. If I'm here, and then all of a sudden he moves his head to the side, then he puts his arms in, and then I go for the overhook, but then he lunges forward. Okay, so let's stop. All right, so half guard players, what's wrong with this picture? Who said that? All right, yes, thank you, Rolando. The underhook. I'm gonna have a half guard, but the underhook that he has That's the key to breaking everybody's half guard. So this was because I was trying to attack with the overhook. So let's reverse this. I don't want to let that happen. And that's a possibility. Yes, there's options there. But the thing is, sometimes those options work because the person's doing something wrong. Let's pretend like they're not doing anything wrong. Let's pretend like they're the best person in the world. If they're the best person in the world, do I give them an opportunity when I overhook? The answer is yes. Jiu-jitsu evolves. Things are not always going to work the same. But what I do know is that people are getting better. And they're starting to figure out answers from when you have an overhook. So the other thing that could happen, let's continue this. Okay, I'm going to parry here.